Right, so, right.
So if it were volunteers from Parks and Recreation, they would be covered under that.
Well, we ought to get that
Yeah,
clarified,
we can do
make
that.
sure that that's covered too.
What do, just for Chief Nolan, I don't know what he would anticipate for additional,
Well, we'd ask Mr. Harris first, let's,
well, he's
he's
out
been
there except for the
standing,
Christmas
so.
trees.
You got two guys, we don't.
Yeah. And then we'll talk to, Chief. So, with respect to this thing, you know, what's
What I
the
do is
position
I-
of the fire department?
We gave them a permit to burn pallets and wood, such as not Christmas trees. Pallets of wood, clean wood, can't be creosote and so forth. What I did in your packet there, I sent you a copy of what we used in 1994. I've talked to the DEP, the DEP has no problems with it. As long as we use no creosote, and we have 2 firefighters on duty. Our plan is to not bring a fire truck out there, our plan is to put the hose out there with 2 firefighters at the hydrant with plenty of hose in order to take care of problems that we have. By keeping the fire truck out from not freezing, and the 2 people will be there, and the hose will be flaked out in case we do have an incident or a problem we have to deal with.
Is there a limit on the size of this bonfire? Have you,
We haven't worked that out completely yet. There's no
Reasonable.
reasonable.
I don't know how to measure fire. I thought about it, but I don't know how to answer that.
When we started this, we thought we'd get it forward, and we'll sit down and talk. It's not gonna be huge, it's not gonna be very small.
well, you know, I think of, what was it, the University of Texas?
Right, where they had the
annual
trees
bonfire, when
wrapped
they
with the
had
cable.
accidents
Oh, yeah, when they got
associated
hurt.
with, you know, the stacking of material. Who's gonna oversee that? When is it gonna be done? How is that gonna be protected? Are we gonna keep kids out of there until New Year's Eve?
We talked about roping off the section where the materials will be stacked. I would be responsible for stacking. Someone could look at it for approval if need be.
When will the stacking be done?
It would start soon.
So it's gonna be exposed to
Gotta keep the
whoever
stuff
wants to.
Yeah, I think, don't think he
Yeah,
understands the
but-
concern that somebody goes in and lights it.
Well, you got that, plus,
Yeah.
you know, kids playing in there and getting hurt.
Yeah.
That would be my concern.
Yeah, well, we plan on cordoning off the area with the snow fence and ropes and so forth.
Mhm.
I think that it's inevitable, if anybody wants to get in there, they're gonna get in there, but if we mark it and protect it with a snow fence, that would be the plan. I don't know whether any other way to do it. I was gonna hold off on the materials as long as I could, before I bring them in there. I've got some different companies setting pallets aside now, so that they can be loaded with a fork truck onto my truck and just tipped in place as late in the game as possible. I've got to work out with Viking Tree. He's got to set aside some fairly dry stuff, and I've got to work out the details with him as to when and how often he needs to get in there for his material that he.
So one handicap of putting it in the back there is that it's in the back and out of sight, which, you know, makes it more difficult to patrol.
We have our motorcycles
Really? Okay, so from a fire point of view, you've issued a permit, you've got a plan associated with dealing with the issues, and it's a matter of 2 firefighters being on duty, and they could be volunteers or paid firefighters, depending on whether or not you can come up with some volunteers. But there has to be 2. Okay.
The deputy went out there, surveyed the situation where they're gonna put it, talked with Marty at the Parks and Rec, and they came up with a plan, and this was the plan that they came up with.
Okay, let's hear from the police chief.
Mr. Chair, we've entered into some preliminary discussions with Narissa. There is no finalized plans as of yet. We've got to get some idea of estimates of people. It is a busy night traditionally for the police department, as is Thanksgiving Eve and New Year's Eve, where they present their challenges to us on a regular basis. So we've got to sit down and talk to the group to make some determination of who we feel is adequate protection.
for, say, one night of the 4th of July, how many extra,
Well, I can give you an update of what took place on Thanksgiving Eve, which is probably the most difficult and the busiest of the eves for the police department. We had 6 additional police officers working that night, from 6 at night until 2 in the morning. It's a challenging evening for a lot of reasons. North Reading is the focal point of a lot of homecoming events for other communities, and they end up in North Reading. So we've found that it's better to be a bit proactive than end up with some of the circumstances we're going to deal with historically. So I'm not saying that we need that for that night, but we have similar numbers that work in the 4th of July, but I would suspect that you probably wouldn't see large numbers of people on the first go-around with this event, depending upon weather. So it's something we have to work out with the risk.
Mark, do you have a target for the number of people? I mean,
No.
you know.
No, it's also, it's more of a family event than, it's for kids and, parents. That's who we're gonna be mostly targeting. We know we're gonna get everybody there eventually. This year, I think, is gonna be kind of quiet, relatively quiet compared to the 4th of July fires that we used to have.
How are we gonna control alcohol?
None.
Just not admitted.
Well, I understand that, but.
But that's where you're gonna need police officers.
Yeah.
put a post that says not allowed?
Yeah, right.
Ask for compliance.
I think the event is advertised, they can take care of that through their advertising. And I know the 4th of July committee, when they run that event, they have their volunteer security crew that patrols the area, and maybe Marissa can follow that model. And then if they encounter a problem, not to get involved with it, but they come to the police and report it to the police, and we respond to that. So it's like a force multiplier for the military. They'll go out and do the groundwork, looking around, and the police officers can be stationed there. We obviously provide some form of communication with the rest of people to communicate with the police officer or officers that are working there.
I do have, staffing. We're talking about getting a certain color T-shirt or some kind of shirt. T-shirt might not be appropriate if it's cold, but some kind of a way to mark our people, staff, to control those things too, because we don't want to rely completely on details.
Chief,
John.
do you have concerns of where this is going to take place pre-event, in terms of the stacking and so forth, being not in a visible location?
It does present challenges. The park has been the subject of vandalism and mischievous behavior since it opened, from tipping over the porta potties to stacking up tables, to destroying tables and stuff. We'll do our best to try to cover that area, but it is remote. If we have a motorcycle deployed on those evenings, it certainly is more accessible to that form of patrol. If they're in a cruiser, they're not going in there unless they have cars to go in there, because it takes the officer too far away from the mark unit to be able to respond at that time. So it does present challenges being that far from the roadways. Perhaps during the winter months, it's more visible in the Havel Street too, so maybe some of my neighbors on Havel Street can.
Yeah, have we considered the neighbors on Havel Street in this venture? Anticipate any issues with any of the neighbors there?
I haven't heard any, it's not real well known yet either. I haven't heard any problems with that, and everything's far enough away so that the houses would be safe from fire.
We would encourage the Havel Street abutters to, if they see anything going on in that area, notify us and respond appropriately.
not snowing. The backside over the little bridge is access to.
Yeah.
Because we don't know, we have no way of knowing in advance
Right.
what the weather's gonna be like, whether there's gonna be snow on the ground or whatever.
Marty's.
The walkways and the access to Haverly Street and not the bridge, but the walls is always plowed. So it's always open when there's snow on. There's access 2 ways.
Okay. Sean?
Mark, or Marty, do you have your next best location for this? If,
This one seemed such a perfect spot that we abandoned the other 2 locations, but the first 2 were behind the bandstand, between the bandstand and the river, with the theory that we could pump out of the river to put the fire out in an emergency or at the end. And the other one was that really nice green area behind the porta potties, which is just, that was abandoned quickly because of the quality of the lawn that's there.
I guess my concern is not the event itself, but prior to the event, if you're going to start stacking sooner rather than later, given the area that it's going to be held in.
The only other place is where Brian used to have that skating rink.
Right.
That's the other,
It's just tough.
That was another area we looked at, because there is a hydrant right there as well.
That's what I was thinking, that's when I commented on it earlier, that's what I was thinking, was right up front, you can see it right from Central Street.
Yeah.
Well,
And one of the issues with that is getting a truck in there to deliver the material and then the cleanup at the end. If it's not frozen, it would be a mess, just to get in and out, but,
or even people, for that matter of fact, if it's, we have a lot of snow on the ground, it's gonna be a lot of snow for people to travel on in the area. The walkways in that general area aren't plowed, it's pretty much out back and just move up to the, Central Street side of the program.
so we thought this was the best location for those reasons. Security-wise, that's the other problem, which, again, that fence, we would hope, keep people out.
How big a group is gonna be basically running this? How many members?
I'm gonna guess at 30,
30?
yeah. Probably a little more than that, but I'd say 30.
Any other questions from the board?
Give it a shot and hope it's a success and
I'll
manage
get
it.
somebody in the audience. Hey, Jeff?
Jeff Ewing. Years ago, they stood on the common. Is there a reason why that's not a good idea at this time?
It was at the high school, and it was right about where the septic is to the bachelor school. Now that the septic's there, I think that's part of the reason they stopped.
We have a new batch, and before we were hoping the embers would catch the old one. Yeah. Never worked out, so.
No, it's not gonna happen over there anymore, Jeff.
You know.
All right, so what's, are we through asking questions?
Yeah.
You wanna
Yeah.
take a vote on this? Yes,
there's a motion.
is there a motion? There's a motion.
Oh, here we go, I got one. Mr. Chairman, I move to authorize the fire department to issue a permit to Narissa for a bonfire to be held December 31st, 2008 at Ipswich River Park.
Motion made by Mr. Harris, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. I'd just like to make a comment. I think, we'll approve this, it looks like the board's intent on approving this to go forward, but I think we need some more information in terms of the hows and the wheres and what